time. He came and he went. Significance of it in the movie? Well, I think I appreciate that James made space in this film for the importance of journalistic integrity. And it's a conversation where they're both right, in a way. Superman is somebody who's radically present. He always tries to do the next right thing. He's someone who sees a problem and without question steps in to fix it. He believes in people first and asks questions later. And Lois is the opposite in so many ways, but they're both relentlessly and radically in pursuit of truth and justice. And so when you put two people like that in a room together, sparks fly and a whole lot of other things too. So much fun. We didn't know each other before this, but we got to spend some time together before we started shooting, having breakfast. He was bulking. He had like 5 breakfasts for every one that I had. And we got to spend a lot of time talking to James and just figuring out where these versions of these iconic characters would fit into the canon.
And how does your version of Lois compare to others?
Gonna have to leave that up to everyone when they see the movie. They say, what, comparison is the thief of joy. I feel like if I set out trying to differentiate in some way or compare myself to the other versions, I wouldn't have been able to find my own way in. And we all draw history from some of the greatest source material in these comics and these different comic book artists. And so I'm very excited for people to experience, and a new generation to experience Superman through this version and through James's lens. We're casting right now, and we're out to someone fun, and hopefully they say yes.
First time I put the Superman suit on, it was in pieces. It was the first costume fitting. It was in 2 pieces, sort of cut off at the shins. The S wasn't even sewn in yet. It was kind of nice because I think if I had stepped into a fully formed Superman suit on my first day, it probably would have been overwhelming. But instead I felt like the suit got to grow with me and I got to grow into the suit a little bit. So by the time I walked on for the first time in the full regalia with the cape helps immensely. I felt like maybe this would be okay. And then as far as how the Superman is different, I think James's imagination is unparalleled when it comes to filmmaking, and the way he's brought, not just adapted the character of Superman to the screen this time, but the way he's brought the feeling of a comic book to the big screen is really unparalleled and unmatched so far. So I think we're in for a bit of a renaissance of comic book films.
I mean, they're such brilliant actors. I don't know, I wasn't consciously trying to do it differently. I was just trying to follow, what James had written in the script and then research and prepare myself so I could be additive to that if possible. And naturally, because I'm a different person and actor, it will be different. So I was just trying to be true and honest to what I thought emotionally this character represented. Well, when I met David, I was like, oh, this guy is going to be a brilliant Superman. And then getting to know him even more, I was like, oh yeah, he embodies everything you could possibly hope for in this character. But also I deeply, deeply hate him. So no, there's really nothing to hate. It's just, he's a great actor to be in scenes with. So that's the wonderful thing, because he's really smart in his approach and supportive and encouraging in a way that he wants the best of everyone on set. So that gives everyone an opportunity to be creative.
Would you like audiences to take away from it?
I think if I take away anything, it's that, being kind is cool. Being kind is rebellious act. Being kind to other people and loving and looking out for people that need to be looked out for is about the best thing you can do. And if you want to be like Superman, that's what you have to do.
Other superhero projects that you have down the line are Wonder Woman and Batman that you've spoken a lot about finalizing scripts for them. Is there any chance that we see Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman on the big screen together?
Of course, yeah. But not next movie. It's gonna, no.
Is there talks of it happening at some point in the next few years?
Well, you have to remember that all this stuff is talks in my head, so there's a lot of chatter in my head that does a lot of things, but the DCU is chatter in my head, not talks.
What can we tease? What's in store? We know Peacemaker season 2 coming out later this year.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can reveal about reading the script so far and what's going to be happening?
I'm scared for what I'm allowed to reveal and not reveal, but I can tell you that I love playing Maxwell Lord, and that he's very different from how we've seen him in other incarnations in the past. But he's his own thing. And let's talk after you see the movie, because we'll see some stuff in Superman and then Peacemaker, and we'll know a little bit more about him after that, and we'll keep going forward after that.
What can you tell me about this being the introduction into the Gunn Safran universe?
Yeah, I think that what I'm most excited about is that all these stories are integrated. So you've got Creature Commandos, you got Superman, you got Clayface, you've got Lanterns, you got the Supergirl movie, and each one, ideally, is individual. So you can watch it and love it in its own right. But also, they're all telling one greater story that's integrated. It's just really awesome. I mean, what a wonderful way to be a part of a story world.
This is a lighter tone to our Superman. I'm wondering if you can speak to why it was important to you to approach it this way and to include this enormous cast of other characters.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in some ways it's lighter, but I mean, there's a lot of heavy stuff in the movie as well, but the character himself is light. I think that, Clark Kent is that rarity of rarities. He's from a non-dysfunctional family. He has parents who love him. He's grown up in a loving household with support and emotional presence from his parents, and he's the result of that. And I think that he's a pretty well-adjusted guy because of that. However, he has his flaws as well. But I love the color and the joy of the comic books I loved growing up. And I wanted to imbue this film with that feeling.
How many Supermans do you have in your head? How many Superman movies?
I have them all, but I really am from the comics, So for me, this is the most comic book movie I've ever made by far. Maybe the first real comic book movie I've made, because I really am influenced by the comics, and I wanted to have people experience the joy I felt when I was reading comic books as a kid in this movie.
Batman 2 script yet, and is Batmite in it?
It's great.